Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. Again, it's called Bible Visions. Thank you for taking up precious time to join me in discussing important topics in the Bible that we rarely hear about. And I've been reading the Bible since I was 13 years old, and now I'm in my 40s. So since I've read it since I was 13, I can actually talk about the Bible because I've read it numerous times. Numerous times I read over it, and I've studied scriptures in that Bible. So, as usual, I'm using the King James Version of the Bible. But like I said, to speed everything up, I have all my scriptures stored on my trusty Samsung tablet. The topic for today is about cherub angels. Once more, cherub angels and how they look in their specific office dealing with God, and how does Satan relate to these cherub angels. Because in our last lesson, it was revealed that all my life, most of it, we just know that Satan was an angel. We always told Satan was a fallen angel, but rarely do we know what type of angel he was. So my mind, even though I'm in my 40s, my mind was illuminated a couple weeks ago when I had my previous lesson. He was a cherub angel. And we're going to learn more about that, how he looked, and what are their particular roles in dealing with God. So let's begin. Our first scripture is John chapter 6, verse 46. Now, no, not that any man have seen the Father, save he which is of God. He hath seen the Father. And this is Jesus talking. What he just now said, no human being has ever seen the Father. The only human who has seen the Father is the one who came forth from the Father, which is Jesus, Yeshua the Christ. He's the only human being who has ever laid direct eyes on the Father and seen the Father in his entirety. He's it, nobody else. And we're going to be learning about that. All the other people that have seen visions or had a dream of heaven, of God. So if you just have a vision or a dream, you're not seeing heaven in its totality. You're just seeing it basically from your particular interpretation. Next scripture, Numbers chapter 12, verse 6 to 7. Now this is God talking. When there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, reveal myself to them in visions. When God dealt with 90% of those prophets, I say 99% of them, he came to them in a vision. If they saw God, they did not truly see him. They just saw an interpretation of him. If they saw an angel in their dream, they did not truly see the angel or heaven. They just saw a human interpretation that they could understand. I speak to them in dreams. But this is not true of my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my house. So basically, in all the Bible, God spoke with Moses face to face. He did not see no angelic representation of God like Father Abraham did. Abraham saw an angelic representation of God. Moses got to see and speak to God on a personal basis. Now he did not see God in his entirety, but God did not come to know Moses in no dream and in no vision. Even from the beginning, God dealt with Moses in a real, live, three-dimensional method. Moses saw that burning bush. He did not dream of the burning bush. He actually saw a physical bush burning. And from that point onward, God always spoke to Moses so Moses could hear him. Next scripture, Exodus chapter 33, verse 18 to 22. And he said, now this is Moses speaking here. Moses is talking to God. And he said, please show me your glory. Please show me your essence. Please show me your brilliance. Then he said, now God is speaking. Then he said, I will make all my goodness, all my brightness, all my holiness, all my glory, my goodness, I will make all my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before you. So God was going to pass by, and God was going to say his name that he used so Moses would know him. I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious. God choose those he will be kind to. I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So it's God's choice. According to this, God don't have compassion on everybody. God is not gracious to everybody. He said, I will choose whom I will have compassion on. I will choose who I will be kind to. And in that case, the person who he chose to show his compassion on was Moses. I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. But he said, you cannot see my face. Moses, you cannot see God's face. But no man shall see me and live. He's so stupendous. His face is so glorious. His knowledge is so high that if a human being looked on him, we would drop dead. And the Lord said, here is a place by me, and you shall stand on the rock. So it shall be, while my glory passes by, that I will put you in the cleft of the rock, and will cover you with my hand while I pass by. So that was tremendous right there. So when God passed by Moses, he had to hold Moses in the rock. I don't know what would have happened if God wasn't holding Moses back. Would he have gotten sucked into God? Would he have gotten blown away? God had to physically hold Moses in that rock so nothing will happen to him. I will put you in the cleft of the rock and will cover you with my hand while I pass by. Then I will take away my hand, and you shall see my back. Okay, so God was saying, when I pass by you, you cannot even see the front of my glory. You can't see just the front. You can't even see my foot. You can't. So Moses could not even see the front of God. Then I will take away my hand, and you shall see my back. All Moses was allowed to see was God's back. But my face shall not be seen. So that's letting you know right there, people, as a human being, we cannot see God face to face with our natural human eyes. We can see him in a dream, we can see him in a vision, but our normal eyes cannot stand to see him. We would die if we look directly at God. We can see his back, but most of his glory, from what I take here, come from his front side. All his power emanates from that front. This is Genesis chapter 41, verse 17 to 25. And Pharaoh said, and this is about Joseph and Pharaoh, and about that particular strange dream that Pharaoh had. Nobody could interpret that weird dream he had. Remember, it was a dream. So when we see the spiritual world, it's strange, and it's not the normal thing that we usually see. And Pharaoh said unto Pharaoh, in my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 kinds, this may be calves, fat flesh, and well favored, and they fed in the meadow. So the kind of the calf was fat and healthy and thick and beautiful. And behold, 7 other kind came up after them, poor and very ill-favored and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in the land of Egypt for badness. So the first 7 was thick, healthy, chunky, and beautiful. The next 7 was thin, malnourished, weak. They was weak looking. And the lean and ill-favored kind did eat up the first 7 kind. So let me read it again. And the lean and ill-favored kind did eat up the first 7 fat kind. We never see that before in this normal reality. We never see the weak animal destroy the strong, fat, chunky animal. Usually it's the thick and well-favored creature that destroys the weak one. But in this one, the lean kind was so powerful that he said they ate the fat kind. Again, it's a dream, and you see how strange his dream is. And when they had eaten them up, it couldn't be known that they had eaten them. So they ate the bones, they drank all the blood, they completely vanquished the 7 fat kind. They were just gone. It could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored as at the beginning. So I awoke. So when he saw that dream, even though the ill-favored kind ate the fat kind, after they finished eating the fat, they were still skinny, like me. They were still skinny, they were still weak looking, they were still sickly, even after they ate the fat kind completely. And then he said, after this, he woke up. And I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up, and 1 stalk, full and good. And behold, 7 ears withered, thin, sickly, and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ones, just like with the kine or the calf. The weak and the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears, and I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare to me. So he told the magicians in Egypt his dreams, and no one was able to help him. Everyone was just flabbergasted. They were saying, They didn't know what to say. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream, here we go. The dream of Pharaoh is one. God has shown Pharaoh what is about to happen. So once more, as you all see, brothers and sisters, when we dream and have visions, it's nothing like what we see in a daily life. It's distorted. It's odd. It's weird. It's messed up. That's for some of the visions that we see from God. Alright, now I'm going to jump to the New Testament. This is the Apostle Paul when he had the vision of Jesus. Well, not a vision, because he actually saw something. This is Paul before he became that powerful apostle that we all know and love. So here we go, Acts 9 verses 1 to 19. Meanwhile, Saul was still breathing out murderous threats against the Lord's disciples. You see that? Before Paul became converted, he was hateful. He hated the followers of Christ. He went to the high priest and asked him for letters to the synagogues in Damascus, so that if he found any that there who belonged to the way. So remember, back in that day, in part of it wasn't called Christianity. From what I gather here, it was called the way. Whether men or women. So Paul didn't care who he was going to persecute, who he was going to in jail, who he was going to torment. He didn't care if it was a man or a woman. He'd take them as prisoners to Jerusalem. As he neared Damascus on his journey, suddenly, so he's not dreaming, he's riding on his horse or whatever to Damascus. Suddenly, a light from heaven flashed around him. He fell to the ground and heard a voice say to him, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? He did not have a vision. He saw the actual flash of light. He heard the actual voice speak his name several times. Who are you, Lord? Saul asked. I am Jesus. Uh-oh, that bust Paul's bubble. His world was turned upside down. The person who he hated is the person who's talking to him. And Paul, you know, brothers and sisters, he was deeply knowledgeable of the Bible in his era. When he saw that light, he knew that light was from heaven. I am Jesus whom you are persecuting. So, y'all remember back in the New Testament, Jesus said, if you do something to his brothers or his sisters, you basically are hurting him. And right here, Jesus said, when you hurt his brothers and sisters, he said, I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting. He replied, now get up and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do. The men traveling with Saul stood there speechless. Oh, what's going on? They heard the sound, but not see anyone. They only heard, so those men was a testimony to Saul. They was his witness. They said, yes, we heard something. We heard that voice, but we didn't see the light. Only Saul saw the light. So from this, most people would say, you was drunk, Saul. What was you taking? But these men was his witness. 2 or 3 witnesses can back you up. They said, we heard something. Heard the sound, but did not see anyone. Saul got up from the ground, but when he opened his eyes, he could not see nothing. So they led him by the hand into Damascus. For 3 days he was blind and did not eat or drink anything. The important part for this, brothers and sisters, when we encounter spiritual things with our actual eyes, something will happen. When he saw Jesus, he didn't even see Jesus. It didn't say he saw Jesus. He just heard the voice. He saw the heavenly light. The actual heavenly light blinded Saul. So if any of us who go around talking about we've seen God and this and that, if we actually see in the normal realm heavenly light, something will happen to us. It will. Remember, Paul did not have no vision. He did not have no dream. He was in a normal life, his normal thing, and he saw that heavenly presence, and it blinded him. Like God told Moses, if you see me, you are dead. Saul saw that light. He became blinded for 3 days. So now we're going to discuss seeing God in a vision. You can't see God in a vision. This is coming from Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 13th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, I was among the captives by the river of Cherubs, that the heavens were open, and I saw a vision of God. His visions, the heavens open, and he saw that vision of God. He didn't see God face to face. He saw God through that vision. This is Chronicles, 2 Chronicles, chapter 18, 18 to 20. Again he said, therefore hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting upon his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing on his right hand and on his left. Once more, when you see the vision, you're not seeing heaven in its totality. You're only seeing a sliver, something that our human brain can interpret. Now, brothers and sisters, we're getting into what I wanted to talk about, Lucifer and the cherub angels. How did they look? What was their office? We usually hear about Satan or Lucifer from the bad point of view. But I'm going to see, before he sinned, before he fell, what was he like? Ezekiel chapter 28, verses 14 to 18. You are anointed as a guardian cherub. So we know now, brothers and sisters, if anybody asks you about Satan, you can say he was a cherub. For so I ordained you. God gave him that office of being a cherub. You were on the holy mount of God. So Satan or Lucifer was in God's presence. And we're going to see more about that too. Cherubs are usually in God's presence. And I'm going to later on, I'm going to relate that to our normal world about the cherubs. You are on a holy mount of God. You walk among the fiery stones. You were blameless in your ways. He didn't have no sin then. He was perfect. From the day you were created. So he's a created being. Satan is created. He's not eternal. Angels are created. They are not eternal. You are blameless in your ways from the day you were created until wickedness was found in you. Through your widespread trade. Okay, so he did some trading in heaven. He talked to other angels. You were filled with violence, and you sinned. So I drove you in disgrace from the mount of God, from God's presence. And I expelled you, guardian cherub. He was a guardian cherub from among the fiery stones. Your heart became proud on account, here we go again, of your beauty. We're going to see later how cherub looked in the vision. Here it said, a cherub is beautiful. Lucifer was beautiful. And you corrupted your wisdom. He was intelligent. Because of your splendor. He was glorious to look at. Splendorous. So I threw you to the earth. God said, you are banished to the earth. I made a spectacle of you before kings. But this is the point I'm going to get about, brothers and sisters. Lucifer was a guardian cherub of God. He guarded gods. I'm going to equate this to our world. You know, every major political leader has special forces around them. In the United States, where I live at, we have agents called the Secret Service. Their sole function is to protect the President of the United States from all types of harm. They will sacrifice themselves for him. So basically, in this natural world, those Secret Service agents form the duties of a cherub. Even in other countries, every political leader, high-ranking political leader, have a special guardsman around them. They function like cherubs. And here's one more thing too. Whenever a major political leader has tension in their rulership, or is a coup de grace, something developed like that, it's always that developed usually with a person who's close to them, a military leader who's close to them. Whenever there's a coup, I know I'm saying it wrong, but you know what I'm saying. Whenever some type of political upheaval occurs in any type of administration, it's usually with those guardians who is close to the president. They are the ones who usually kill their leader in a coup. They are the ones. So Satan basically did the same thing that we do in this life. He was close to God, so he said, I'm tired of being a servant. I want to be a ruler, like God. So, sin and evil developed in him. And I never thought of that before. Satan was a guardian cherub of God. He was so close to God that his mind became corrupt and he wanted to become like God. Just like in his regular life. Military leaders had their right-hand man who guarded them. Their right-hand man turned around and stabbed them in the back. But, see, God is so powerful, you can't stab him in the back. You can't kill him easily. Because remember, God created Satan. The political leaders, they did not create their Secret Service agent. They was born by some mother and father. But God created Satan. He created Lucifer and those other cherubs, so his power level is far above theirs. No matter how powerful they are, God is vastly more powerful. So we see the cherubs function as those agents who protect their particular charge. Alright, so now we're going to Exodus 25, verse 22. And there I met with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the two cherubs which are upon the ark of testimony, of all things which I will give thee in commandments until the children of Israel. So even here we see, right above that special ark, God had two cherubs, God above his, his earthly throne, the ark. So you see right there, cherubs function as guardsmen. That's their chief duty. This is Ezekiel chapter 10, verse 14. Now here we're going to see how the cherubs look in someone's vision. Each one had 4 faces. The first face was the face of a cherub. Now I don't know how a cherub look. So the artists who draw them cherubs, they cannot draw a cherub because we don't know how a cherub look. The second face of a man. The third face of a lion. And the fourth, the face of an eagle. And the cherubim were lifted up. Now, brothers and sisters, if some have all these faces on it, you tell me, is that something beautiful? A creature with 4 faces, a face of a cherub, a face of a man, a face of a lion, a face of an eagle. Does that really look beautiful? And remember, when we learned about Lucifer, it said you were beautiful. But is that creature beautiful? Or is that just their interpretation from seeing a vision? Let's move forward. And this is Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 4 to 11. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolded itself, and a brightness was about it. And out of the midst, out of the middle, thereof is a color of amber. And I'm going to give you here's an example of how amber look. Whoever was in the middle of all that commotion had the look of amber. Out of the midst of the fire. Also, out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. So they probably had arms, legs, a torso, a neck, etc. And everyone had 4 faces. And everyone had 4 wings. And their feet were straight feet. And the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot. And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. So whatever radiance came out them, they had the color of brass. Think about that. Even the angels had some type of color to them. And they had the hands of a man under the wings on their 4 sides. And they had 4, and they 4 had their faces and their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went. They went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they had 4. They 4 had the face of a man and the face of a lion on the right side. And they 4 had the face of an ox on the left side. They had 4 also the face of an eagle. So here's an example of these creatures that I'm going to show you all. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched outward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, and two covered their bodies. Now, brothers and sisters, I'm going to give you some of the characteristics of some of these creatures that were seen. Remember, this is a vision. This was a vision. Did these creatures really look like that? Or is this how they were interpreted? Right now, I'm going to give you some of the characteristics of these four creatures. So take a few minutes, look at these characteristics, and I'll shortly be back. Alright, so welcome back. So, you see these four features. Now, since a cherub is a guardian of God, they have to have certain characteristics. They have to be brave, they have to know how to fight, and they have to be physically fit. They have to have no fear, like some of these creatures' characteristics that you just now saw. So, when that person had that vision, were these the visions of the lion, the eagle, and the ox representation of their characteristics? Because remember, you cannot see characteristics of any creature. You only can see their physical form. You can't tell if a person is brave. You can't tell if a person is noble. You just see the outside. And that's all the prophet saw in the vision. Just the outside. And brothers and sisters, this will conclude our scriptures reading. This is Ezekiel chapter 10, verse 14. About the cherubs again, each one had 4 faces. The first face was the face of a cherub. The second face, the face of a man. The third, the face of a lion. And the fourth, the face of an eagle. And the cherubim were lifted up. Like we said, brothers and sisters, this was just a vision. Did seeing those four faces represents the quality of each of those particular artifacts or creatures that was seen? Remember way back when I read about Lucifer, it said he was beautiful and splendorous. According to this, if a cherub looks like this, is that thing really beautiful? Is it? Think about that, brothers and sisters. Thank you for taking your few precious minutes to come to this channel. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for letting us learn more and more about your word. Thank you for letting us learn more about your creatures, the cherub, their office, and what they do for you. I pray that we continue to read your word. I pray that we will continue to love your word and cherish it. Help us to become strong Christians and to become more and more like your Son, Jesus the Christ. Amen. Thank you all and have a wonderful day.